All right, last example for this one. What we're going to cover next is what a scalar looks like. If I have a number out in front of a matrix, this is the same as multiplying a number out in front of a letter. When we do this, though, we're just going to take that number 2 and multiply it to all the numbers on the inside of that matrix. So it's the same as saying 2 times 2, 2 times 0, 2 times 1, and 2 times 5. Really, really simple stuff. Let's go ahead and take a look at some problems here. First of all, they want us to do 2a minus 3b, and they clue in this nice if possible. So some of these questions might not be possible to do, in which case you would say not possible. So matrix A, if I want to do 2 times A, I'm going to do 2 times all this fun. And I would just do 2 times 4 and 2 times -2 and 2 times -3 and 2 times 10. And I would end up with an 8, a -4, 8, -4, a -6, and a 20. And that big number 20 is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And then I would subtract 3 times b. But before I multiply 3 to all these b's, I notice that it is 2 rows and 3 columns, whereas matrix A is only a 2 by 2 matrix. So 2 by 2 minus a 2 by 3 is not possible. So I didn't even have to do this math over here. What a waste of time. Not possible would be the answer. However, 2 times A does appear over here, so I didn't completely waste my time. And matrix C is a 2 by 2 matrix. So a 2 by 2 matrix minus another 2 by 2 matrix is perfectly legal. We'll start off with matrix C, which is 3, 2, 0, -9, and a bracket. And we'll subtract 2 times A, which I already figured out was going to be 8, -4, -6, and a 20. And we'll subtract those right quick. Make sure we use our integer rules correctly. 3 minus 8 is going to be a -5. 2 minus -4, if you need to write that down, go ahead. 2 minus -4 is the same as 2 plus 4, which is going to be the number 6. We have a 6 right there. 0 minus -6, once again, when you subtract a negative, you're really adding a positive. 0 plus 6 is 6. And -9 minus 20 is a -29. It's a big number. It's perfectly legit. And that would be our answer for C minus 2A. Let's go ahead and work on another example of these. So we have a bunch of matrices here that we can use. We'll work on these. And this is your quiz. That's it. That's all it's going to be over. So let's go ahead and do 3 times B and 2 times C. Before we go too far into it, let's check the dimensions. B, once again, is going to be a 2 by 3 matrix, 2 rows and 3 columns, whereas matrix C is going to be a 2 by 2 matrix. This one, before we begin, is not possible because those matrices do not match up. Let's look at 2A minus 3C. So A and C are going to match up. Let's go ahead and do the math on that. We're going to have an 8, a -4. We already did that, 2 times 8. We're going to have a -6 and a 20. So I have that matrix there. And then we're going to subtract 3 C's, which I believe I already did the math on that earlier, but I'll do it again. We're going to, oh, no, I didn't. This was different. We're going to do 9, 6, 0, and a -27. And now we're going to subtract those numbers. So 8 minus 9 is a -1. -4 minus 6 will give us a -10. -6 minus 0 is a -6. And 20 minus -27 is actually going to be a 47. Because when you subtract the negative, you're really adding a positive. 20 plus 27 is going to be 47. And that would be our answer for 2A minus 3C. All right, we'll get rid of this. And the last one here, they want to do D plus half of D. So we'll start off with D, which would just be a -6, 3, and an 8. And 0.5 something is just going to be half of that something. So this is going to end up being, we'll add half of -6 is a -3. Half of 3 is 1.5, no big deal. And half of 8 is going to be the number 4. And now we're going to just add those numbers together. -6 plus -3 is a -9. 3 plus 1.5 is going to be 4.5. And 8 plus 4 is 12. Even though it's got that decimal in there, it's not a bad thing. You know, it's a number, just like any other number. Don't treat it badly. But that's how that works. So we added and subtracted. We did some scalars. We also talked about dimensions. What are the dimensions of matrices? We also talked about addresses and elements. So the address of this number right here would be lowercase a. Let me do that right. So lowercase a, row 2, column 2 would be the number 10. If I took a look at this number right here, this would be lowercase b. It would be in the first column, first row, second column would be the number -1. And if I took a look at that number right there, this would be a lowercase d, first row, third column would be equal to the number 8. And that's how you do addresses. All right. That's pretty much your quiz, everything on that page. So if you know what's going on, you'll be ready to rock. Go ahead and take a look at your quick polls, take a look at your quizzes, figure out what it is you know and don't know. You can ask me questions on the Google Classroom, send me an email, and we'll get after it. So let me know if you guys have any other questions. There are a couple questions on this next page. You can find these notes on the Google Classroom. Here's a couple of example problems that would show up on your quiz. You can work on these if you like. You can ask me questions about those. I can do some other types of problems on YouTube. If you need some more examples, there's some more on this page as well. These are all showing up in the Google Classroom underneath the assignment notes and things like that. Okay, so if you have any other questions, hit me up in the Google Classroom, that kind of thing. I keep saying it, doesn't make it any different. But I love you guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.